Okay, so now we're going to keep moving on with this discussion around how important it is to have results and accomplishments on your resume. Okay, so if I haven't said it once, I've said it twice, said it three times. Avoid job descriptions, avoid describing tasks, focus on your impact, the value you bring to the table, and very specific results that you accomplished, right? Every bullet should have some kind of result. Now, the way to make that really punchy and really drive it home is to quantify, is to put numbers in there. And you would have seen that in every example that I've used so far, there has been some kind of number. There's been at least one number, maybe two, maybe even three. So very often, what clients ask me is, well, where do I go get this data? Where do I get the numbers? What kind of numbers count? I don't know how to start with that. And I think that is a fairly common problem, and it's definitely, it's a challenge, but we've done this now so many times. I mean, we've worked on hundreds, if not thousands of resumes. And so, each resume has 20 to 40 bullets. So you can make the calculation there how many bullets we worked on at this point. So I really want to say to you that, it isn't that difficult. It just requires maybe thinking about things a little bit differently, thinking about things in a way that you may not have done before. So here are some numbers that count. The best numbers are the percentage numbers, right? So in other words, remember we discussed, every industry has certain metrics, right? So sales, revenues, what I call positive metrics, and then there are negative metrics like costs and customer complaints. So you're always trying to increase the positive metrics like sales and revenues and process optimization, efficiency, productivity, and you're trying to decrease the negative metrics like cost. So anytime that you can say that you increase something good and you can give a percentage value to that, and if it doesn't have to be exact, it can be in the ballpark, as long as I would say just be careful that you're not, you're obviously that it's accurate. So what I normally do with clients is we just err on the side of caution, right? So if they know that they definitely, the increase, the sales or the revenues that they brought in was definitely, say over 10%. They're just not sure whether it's 15 or 20, but it's definitely over 10, then I would go with 10% because increasing something by 10% is still a very big deal, right? It is extremely difficult, as you know, in the business world to have bottom line impact, and it's a big deal. And psychologically as well, it's the idea of seeing that number, right? So increasing something, even if it's by 5%, is valuable. And when the reader sees bullet after bullet of increase in X, decrease in Y, it's very powerful. The other kind of numbers you can look for are dollar values. It doesn't have to be dollar. I mean, it could be a different currency, but the monetary value of something. So in other words, instead of a 5% increase in sales, you tell me generated $500,000 worth of new sales over 12 months. And then the final kind of number, and this, I mean, there's, this should be easy. This is available for almost anything, and that's scale and size. All right, so if you're presenting in front of an audience, tell me how many. If you're running a workshop, how many attendees? If you wrote a report, how large was this report? Was it a 200 plus page report? Who was the report distributed to? Did it go out to an audience of 720 plus readers? So that scale and size should be pretty easy. I mean, it's a little bit like some of the exercises we did before. If you led staff, how many? Always think of how many, what is it? What's the number that I can give an indication of size and scale?